Welcome everyone to VLAMP, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show. I'm of course your host, Matt Haslam. And today on the show, today is our monthly live stream. So basically that means we're going to answer all of your questions live on the program today. So if at any point during tonight's program you have a question for us that you'd like us to answer, or if you have a comment for the show, please do leave that in the live chat on the live stream right now, below or off to the side of your screen, depending on which device you're looking at this at. And please join us again every single day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for brand new videos, and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for new episodes. They are full episodes every Monday and new videos every single day. Doesn't matter which day, on weekends, weekdays, every single day at 10:30 a.m. Also, our monthly live streams and Q&A sessions like this one right now that you're watching right now live from the MHP studios in Minersville, PA, they come out every Monday, every first Monday of every month at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's got me all confused, but the schedule is right there on your screen, as you can see right there. I'm bad with like pointing at things. So join us for that. Also, if you're a longtime viewer of the show, you know about this guy, Chris Krasnuski, who's a really good friend of mine and a really good friend of the show. You guys know him. You guys love him. And he's been on the show for VFX Week and the 100th episode special of the show here on VLAMP. And he's been on the show a couple times. He's an amazing VFX artist, and I love him to bits of his work. Oh my God, his work is amazing. You can check him out right here at the YouTube link that's right there. I'm bad with pointing at things live, okay? Sorry, okay? But you can check out his monthly live stream coming out on October 12th, 2017 at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be joining him for that live stream, so please do tune in and subscribe to that YouTube channel, because that's where it's going to be going live at. Also, check out earthlinkorigins.com. That's the film that he's working on right now, and the monthly live stream is pertaining to that film and showing you kind of like behind the scenes of how it's made, and talking with a slew of an amazing team that he's compiled over the last couple years to work on this film. And I'm just one of the many, many people, and one of the least talented of all of those people. So join us for the live stream where we talk with all the creators of the show, of the film that he's working on. And also go to earthlinkorigins.com. That's earthlinkorigins.com. There's some hyphens in there, but you can see that right here. Put that in your URL bar above after the live stream tonight, and go check out the film more. He just updated the characters pages on his website, so you can see more about the characters, more about the actors, everyone involved with the film, including all the behind-the-scenes crew. You can see that on the website, as well as become a Patreon of his film. I'm not being paid to say that. Some of you may think that, apparently, because I've gotten some comments on that from last month's live stream. I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm not getting paid from that film at all, but he's a great friend of mine, and I really want you guys to support his work, because I love the work he does, and I think you guys do as well, because I've seen all the great love you gave to his episode way back when VFX Week was happening. So please go check out his channel and the website for more info on that, and join us on October 12th, 2017 at 11 p.m. for that wonderful live stream. Now, also, I got to mention here that we just surpassed 100 subscribers on the VLAMP How-To Channel network. It's an amazing honor to be over 100 subscribers. I know that's not a lot in YouTube terms, but that's a lot to me. So that means 100 people have gone the extra effort and hit that red subscribe button for my channel, and support the work that the team and I compile every single week for you guys. So thank you so much for that. From the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my team's heart, thank you so much. I love you guys to bits, and I hope more people out there hit that red subscribe button and support the work we do. So if you know anyone that would like to see this channel, please do share it with other people, and we will go far together. Another news thing related to the channel today. This happened yesterday. because that's apparently a thing. So for those who don't know and don't follow us on Facebook and Instagram and everything like we're on, basically Saturday we found out that the Amazing Race TV show on CBS here in the United States was starting their next season 30 race in New York City in Washington Park on Sunday, October 1st, 2017. They were starting the race, and we found out about it on Saturday and then spontaneously went to New York yesterday to go see the starting of the race. And we went there yesterday, learned a whole lot. Oh my God, we learned so much yesterday. They had so much camera equipment, like 30 some cameras all over the place, helicopters. They had rooftop cameras. They had 22 cameramen and audio guys that are going to travel around the world with them over the next month. We learned a ton by seeing the behind the scenes of that show yesterday. For those who have been following the channel for a while now, you know a while back we did an episode on VLAMP behind the scenes of Price is Right and Amazing Race. Now, in that episode, we showed some behind the scenes of the Price is Right because they showed it on their YouTube channel, and we talked about it a little bit, and we talked about the behind the scenes of how Amazing Race happened. But what was really interesting is that yesterday while we were there, they had a lot of downtime yesterday. And so not only were we learning about how the behind the scenes of how the opening scene all was filmed every single season now, and now it's the 30th season, but we were talking with some of the camera guys while they were there and while they were working. I was talking with some of the camera guys and figuring out just how they made that show possible. And I have a ton of information to share with you guys for an upcoming episode of VLAMP, of how that show is made and everything. I'm so excited to share that episode, but that won't be coming out for just a tad bit longer because basically the entire day I was recording everything that happened in 4K, and so now I have a ton of footage to go through, and I have like 3 or 4 hours of footage to go through to find the stuff that I want to talk about. So please do bear with me on that episode, but it's coming out, and the behind the scenes is coming out on The Amazing Race, how it's filmed. Really interestingly, they shoot everything in 4K, even though they're only delivering in 1920 by 1080 full HD, which is kind of weird, but that's so their editors can choose the framing later, and ton more stuff I learned yesterday, and some of it actually contradicts what the blogs of the show say. And why this is all interesting about just Amazing Race is that, not only is it my dad's favorite show in the world, my favorite show of that genre, but it wins so many Emmys. It wins Emmys every single year for the logistics of how it's made because it's so difficult to make that show. So talking with their director and talking with their cameramen about how the show is made, it's really interesting. And I have a bunch to share with you guys for an upcoming episode. But probably you won't see the behind the scenes on this channel, at least. You might see some stuff on our Facebook or the Matt Haslam Productions YouTube channel, but you won't see it on an episode here until Season 6, which airs in January 2018. So a little bit of time to wait, but we already have programming scheduled for the next couple months here. So Season 5 is already produced and out there. So basically, I'm really excited to produce that episode. But that's probably going to be recorded this week yet, probably, or next week, but it's not going to air until next, the upcoming January in Season 6. So, on to the questions and comments section of the program. If you have a question, please do leave it in the comments below right now in the live chat or on the side of your screen, depending on which device you're looking at. Please do leave it in the comments of the program, and we will answer those questions live. First question or comment comes into us from our YouTube channel, Music Video Scripts Video. This is a very popular episode. I should have probably put a lot more work into that episode compared to others. It's weird because I actually a lot of shows, a lot of the shows that we put the most amount of work into are some of the least viewed on this channel, and the music video scripts one is one of the most viewed. So it's kind of weird. But on that video, G Phil Production says, good info, thanks for sharing. And on the same video, Judy Manuel says, really helpful, ... Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. To both of you, actually. It's an honor to create content, and I love that you guys love the new content coming out. That's an older one, actually, so I shouldn't say that. But anyway, on to the next question and comment. From our video, animation, what is it, and why do I have to know this? Which is, for those of you who don't know, part of our daily video series that comes out every single day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come out with a brand new video of a film or an audio and lighting term that you should probably know if you're going to be in the entertainment industry. And every single day, it's a really short video to tell you a definition of a term that you should know. And we put a ton of work into that series. But this comment comes to us from the animation video, and it's from Come On Bros, and it says, nice short video, VLAMP bro, smiley face emoji. Well, thank you so much for your comment. I love that you guys are loving the new series, and I'm really excited to see where the series goes, because guess what? You've only seen like 30 of them already, and there's like 200 left, so there's 200 more videos to come out, so 200 more days of content. So look forward to that. Next question and comment comes to us from No Budget Slate Free iOS App Clapboard Product Review video. This is also a video that came out a while ago. From Eric Walsh. Says, thanks, man. Great vid. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I love sharing product reviews because basically, even on free stuff, it's stuff that you might want to know before you download it, or you might want to know before you get the product or something like that. And I love showing those kind of things. And that slate, I actually use that in New York. So I have it on my phone still. I do use it all the time. When basically my family doesn't let me, or when situations don't let me take a clapboard with me to mark my footage, I do use the app all the time for footage. And I love, love, love me the app. So I highly suggest it. And it's called No Budget Slate. You can get it on the iOS store. I believe it came to Android, but I'm not 100% on that. I know Android does have a version of a free clapboard that you can use. So if you didn't check it out, please do check out that video. Just search it on YouTube, because I think I'm the only creator that came up with a video on that app so far. So I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Next question or comment comes in to us from our Facebook page from AJM. Have you ever seen an artist who gives away all his work for free? Unfortunately, yes, I have. So this is a story time with Matt. I should have come up with a graphic for that of like story time with Matt. But no, I did see that quite a few times. It annoys me. And here's the thing. If you, again, if I say this a million times during the live stream, if you've been a long-time viewer of the show, you know I have seen this way too many times. And there's a reason why we came up with Season 3 of the show. Season 3 of this show was all about how to not price yourself in the free market or price yourself where you're paying out. Because basically there's this thing in the music industry called pay-to-play. So you basically pay a venue, and they let you perform for the night. And other venues only let you play if you're going to play for free for the night, such as like talent shows or open mic nights and stuff, which are all good in like middle school. Like I was in a talent show in middle school, and that's great. Unfortunately, when you're in like college or out of college, talent shows and open mics, not the best idea for you to do. Even if you're a comedian, I don't think it's a good idea for you to do. So I've seen way too many artists do this, and that's why Season 3 of the show was a thing. And we were trying to get people away from it. Unfortunately, what happened right before Season 3 aired was, I'm not going to mention their name because I don't want to mention their name here, but there was a report in the local paper from this guy who I know, who a lot of people know, that basically said, if you want to be successful in the music industry, what you need to do is only perform once or twice a year at most. Like, you need to, he literally compared it to like kid in a candy store thing of like, if a kid goes in a candy store every single day, he's not going to appreciate the candy. He's going to get full of it, and he's not going to want the candy after a while. But if somehow in this guy's mind that if a kid only went into a candy store like once or twice a year, he would like devour the candy and love it and whatever, dude. Like, he had no idea what he was talking about. He's not a successful musician. He's not making a living doing this. He's in another industry which makes all of his money. What a lot of people don't know is that he pays to play everywhere he goes. The one or two places he performs every year, he pays the venue to rent the hall out for the night. He pays the rest of his band up on stage to play with him because no one would play with him otherwise. He pays for food and drinks for everyone, and it's despicable what this guy is doing, and he's telling everyone, here's what you need to do to be successful. Unfortunately, not everyone has thousands of dollars that they can spend performing one show if you're not getting anything in compensation for it. And this guy is willing to do it because he says, oh, it's for charity. And he's also like combining his event with a charity thing of like, if you buy a ticket, your total, like all of your ticket price goes to donating towards this charity. And so I've always firmly believed that, yeah, every once in a while you can do a show where we just got done doing an event with our music store where basically, if you buy an album of ours or something, a portion of the proceeds from that go right to helping the American Red Cross for help in the hurricanes that just happened. And so every once in a while, it's good to make these kind of steps of like giving a little bit back or, trying to help out a good cause with a portion of your proceeds. But the way this guy does it is 100% goes to charity. And so he's hiding behind this whole thing of like, oh, buy a ticket and 100% goes to charity. Like, then people aren't there to see you. People are there to support the charity. They're buying a ticket so they can support the charity that the event is supporting. They're not there to see you, and they're not there to see your music. And so that's a big distinction to make. And so, this guy's hiding behind it. And so, unfortunately, I have seen that kind of thing before, and I made a huge blog about it. You can read that on our Facebook page, or not on our Facebook page, but my Facebook page. You can also hear about that more in depth in the season 3 of how to basically solve that problem. I've unfortunately seen a lot of artists just give away their work for free. I've always been a firm believer that you shouldn't ever give away your work for free. And it's a difficult spot to be in because there's sometimes when you say to yourself, okay, I'm a big supporter of this cause or something. I want to help them out. I want to do something for free. Then fine, do it. But not every single time. As a creator, you have to make money. You have to survive, and you can't always just give away things for free. And so I unfortunately see it a lot in the industry. I see a lot of people like the guy I just mentioned, who I won't mention any names because this is a live stream and I can't edit it out. So I unfortunately see people giving away their work for free. I see people paying other people to take their work, which is even more despicable. I talk about that a lot in my book, Troubled Soul, From the Mind of a Troubled Soul, The Untold Truth in the Entertainment Industry. it is a big problem, and there is a solution, which I talk about in that book a little bit more in depth, and I talk about in my other book, Marketing Music, not to be like, oh, plug my books kind of moment, but it's a thing. So, yeah. So, so yeah, it's a big problem, AJ. I don't know really what to say other than that. There is a way to solve it, though. There is this big thing of like, just say no. Like drugs, just say no. Seriously, though, like if someone says to you, oh, do this for free for us, no, I'm sorry, I'm not. This is a business. You have to stand behind your work and say, no, this is my way of living. I can't go to the grocery store and ask them for experience or exposure. To accept experience and exposure for groceries, I have to pay for groceries with money. So no one makes that distinction for you, so why should you make that distinction for others? So that is the way to solve it. Unfortunately, it's harsh, but it's very, very true. Again, I want to comment here and just jump in before we get to the next question, because we're getting into the questions quite a bit. And if you want to have your question read on the show, you can leave them in a live chat right now, and I will answer all those questions live. So if you have a question that's bothering you right now, you want an answer to, leave it in the chat live for the program. Next question comes to us from our Facebook page, from Satya Nayak. Okay, I know I'm horrible with names, but that's an odd name, so give me some credit for at least trying. Give me a like. Give me a thumbs up for trying that name, okay? Please. Anyway. I'm one of those creators now that just says, give me a like button for that. But anyway, I think it's a she. I hope it's a she and I didn't just offend someone of our fans. Says, how to copy a portion of a timeline in Premiere and paste the same later somewhere in the same timeline. Okay, so there's two ways to do that. And I know this sounds like a dumb question, but it actually is a really, really annoying question if you don't know the answer to it. And there are two ways to do it. So it's not as... I know some people that are watching right now are going to be like, this is an easy one. Why'd you pick this one to say on the show, Matt? There's two ways to do it. And a lot of people think of one way, and the other way is a whole lot easier. So we're going to talk about that. The first way is to just basically copy and paste, which please don't do that, okay? So basically what you can do, if you're on PC computer, then you just hold down Control and you click on the portion of the timeline that you want. You can use your mouse to like basically... You click down your mouse and you hold it down while you scroll over everything that you want to copy. And then you hold down Control and hit C on your computer's keyboard. That copies everything. Or you can right-click on the selected area and click Copy. And then go to the other part of your timeline that you want to paste that and hit Control-V for paste, or right-click and hit Paste with your mouse. You can also go up to the top, and there's like, I think, edit, copy, and paste there as well in the top menu bar. You can copy and paste, but I highly suggest you do not just copy and paste things. If you need a portion of a timeline in Premiere, yeah, on Mac computers, it's Control-C and Control-V as well. Just so you know, it's not just PC computer. There's a lot of buttons on, like, I have a Mac computer on my main editing bay, so I'm just trying to figure out, like, hey, control this, control. Anyway, off topic, Matt. But anyway, there's a whole lot easier way to do it, and that is to basically control that section of video alone. And here's the thing. If you copy and paste a certain portion of a timeline in Premiere, then if you make any changes to the first, basically, if you make any changes to the first time you had that video clip in your timeline, it's not going to change that on the second part. over later on in the video. Let's say you have a video clip and you did some color correction on that video clip to make it look more realistic, or if you made it black and white, or whatever kind of effect you put on that video, or you put on the audio maybe to make it sound a little bit better. Whatever effects you add to that the first time, you now have to copy and paste those effects over to the second time, because otherwise, if someone notices it's the same exact video clip, they're going to go, they don't look similar at all. This looks color corrected. This looks not color corrected. So I highly suggest you don't just copy and paste things in a timeline. I highly suggest you take whatever you want, basically copy and pasted, and you create another timeline in Premiere, another sequence entirely. So you're going to hit, I think, Control N, which brings up a new sequence for you, and you're going to put all those that video clip in a new sequence. You're going to make any changes you want to that sequence, to the video clips in there, to the audio in there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to close that sequence. And on the left side of your screen, if you're in Premiere and you maybe you have your windows compiled differently than I do, but in your project panel on Premiere, you're going to have all of your sequences there along with all the other video clips you can import. Basically, you're going to take that sequence that you just created for that new clip that you want twice in your entire sequence. You're going to drag that sequence into your timeline, and that way when you drag it over the first time, it's going to bring over that entire sequence that you just created. And then you drag and drop the second time wherever you want it, an hour later, or whatever in your timeline that you want it to play again. So now you have the same exact thing playing twice in your big timeline, your main timeline that you're going to eventually export. Now, and here's why I say this is easier. I know it sounds on paper like, oh, if you just copy and paste it, it's a whole lot easier. But in reality, if you create this what's called a subsequence in your timeline and drag and drop that sequence into your main timeline that you're going to export, now let's say your client wants a little change made on that video clip, or something happens where you're just not happy with the color correction on it, or you want to make an effect on the audio, or something happens where you need to change something in that video clip. Well, maybe you're not going to remember that's the video clip that you copied twice in your project panel, right? Maybe in your timeline, I should say. Maybe you're not going to remember that a month from now, a year from now when you go back to this project, or even a week from now, because maybe you're busy and you don't have that much time. I know in my line of work, basically when I go back to a project, even a day later, I'm not remembering, oh, I copied that clip twice in my project. I don't remember that kind of stuff because there's too much footage to compare sometimes, and I just don't think of it. So what I suggest is basically, in that way, when you go into that subsequence, now if you make, I'm sorry, backtrack a little bit, Matt. Speak like English. So now if you make a change to that subsequence, it makes that change everywhere in your timeline that sequence appears. So let's say a week from now, your client says, hey, I want you to make this change for us in that video clip, and we want you to color correct it, or whatever happens, right? Well, now I need to make a change. So I'm going to go into that subsequence and I'm going to make that change. And now I don't have to remember everywhere I put that subsequence at in my, or everywhere I put that clip in my videos, in my main timeline that I'm going to export. I don't have to remember that anymore. I just make the change in the subsequence, and now it makes that change everywhere that subsequence appears. And it's a whole lot better in the end, and that way the same exact effects are made on everything. And that way you don't have to worry about, like, oh, did I color correct it here differently than here? No, I color corrected it in a subsequence, and it's basically every time that subsequence appears in your timeline, it's pulling that footage from the same subsequence in your project panel. So it's as if you're making that change to everything. So I highly suggest that you do it that way instead of just copy and paste. Anyway, on to the next question. This is a longer one. Comes in to us from our Facebook page from Mikey Garland. And he says, I'm trying to improve my skills as a photographer slash cinematographer. I know the basics, but my visual skills are lacking. What are some good resources to check out? Where slash how did you learn? What specifically should I be focusing on? Thanks. So, Mikey, I think it's going to sound very generic, what I'm about to say. And I'll get into a very specific answer in a couple minutes. But I think the best way that I learned as a cinematographer is by doing. Like I said, I know that sounds generic. But I think that's what you need to do. Just basically take your camera and shoot whatever you want to shoot. I don't know exactly where you're at in your career, so I can't say, if you're just starting out, then probably you don't know what direction you want to head in videography or photography or whatever. So maybe if you're trying to figure out how to improve your skills, but you're also trying to figure out exactly where you want to go in the industry, I think a great way to do that is just by trying everything. Go out and shoot a football game. Go out and shoot a whole bunch of nature scenes. Go out and film that little short film that you come up with. Really, your first film is going to suck no matter what you do. I'm sorry, it's just going to suck really, really bad. I remember my first film that I ever created was called CSI St. Clair. It's a local town near us. We did it for a local kids group, a youth group that I was a semi-leader of at the time. And it was the case of the smashed pumpkin, where this guy came in and smashed a pumpkin, and all these kids are trying to figure out how this pumpkin got smashed, right? I told you it was stupid, okay? Fair warning. But anyway, we filmed a whole bunch of scenes for this and filmed the guy breaking into the building and smashing the pumpkin. We filmed everything of this. It was a stupid film. We filmed mock interviews of all these different people that were supposedly around the area at the time of the smashed pumpkin. And we filmed all these interviews. It really looked bad. I mean, I'm talking like this was shot on an old, like, not even VHS. It was like the DV little tape camcorder, and then we plugged it into our computer with a weird adapter. Oh, no, we plugged it into our VSR. Our VSR, that's a thing. VCR, and then from our VCR had a cable running to our computer, which recorded it in real time. So we had to play it back in real time just to record it onto our computer, and then edited the video in Windows Movie Maker. It was horrible. It was just a horrible film in general. But we filmed all these interviews, put them on a projector for the kids to watch, and they were trying to figure out this crime. It was a horrible film, but I learned in that I love doing interviews, and I love this style of work. And so, years later, I'm doing documentary work and doing that sort of thing, and I absolutely love it. And now, luckily, I have better equipment, and luckily, a lot of things are different now. But, yeah, back then it was like, oh, this stupid film I made. So I learned a lot by doing just everything I could back in the day and learning what I enjoy doing in the industry. But once I figured out what I want to do, and I know I say that, it's odd because I kind of do a lot of things in the industry. And if you look at my website, you're going to say, like, Matt, you do everything. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do everything. But that's how I found out I like doing everything. And I like switching it up every so often. But how I improved my skills once I figured out what I want to do, how I improved my skills is just taking my camera to local events and filming them. I filmed tons and tons of things back in the day. I filmed nature scenes. I filmed all these like local bands that were performing. I filmed a bunch of local sporting events. I filmed, you name it. I filmed it way back in the day, and I basically just found out, oh, this is what my camera can do. This is how to frame this kind of shot to learn. So I would say how I learned in the industry is just by doing. And I learned in college. I didn't learn much in college, so I shouldn't say that. I'm a big supporter of, going to film school, but my personal experience in film school isn't the best because I didn't learn that much. Because here's the thing, I learned a lot in my life in the audio and video world before I ever got to college. And I had a business for a number of years before I went to college. So when I went to college, there was actually a college professor who said, hey, do you mind teaching one of the classes this year? And I'm like, sure, I'll teach a class. So I literally taught a class, just one day. But it was like, so it wasn't the best experience for me. And we had good professors, but really, I think the biggest thing I learned in college is as a marketing aspect, because we had a really great marketing professor, but the audio and visual I didn't learn too much from because I kind of knew the basics already. But if you're looking to improve your skills as a videographer or a photographer, I would say it's really, I don't think you learn as much by watching what others do. I think you learn a lot more by doing yourself. And so if you want to make films, go ahead and make films. Don't just think you're going to watch a Steven Spielberg film and learn everything you need to know of how to make a film. I think you just need to go out there and make it yourself. Try to recreate scenes that you've seen on a major television show, or recreate this thing that you've seen happen, this really cool effect. How do I do that? I know a really cool thing that I just got done doing for this season's Halloween parades, which is really cool. By the way, we're broadcasting Halloween parades live this year for some reason. So there's 3 Halloween parades that we're producing this year, and they're going out live. But a really cool thing I learned this year is I watched, I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but called Stranger Things on Netflix. I absolutely love their intro for that show. And so I said to myself, I want to learn as a videographer. I want to learn how to do different effects, So I literally recreated that entire sequence. I recreated their intro sequence. I found some music on YouTube, which is copyright free, which sounds very similar to their music. And I went with the Halloween theme because we're doing Halloween parades, but I recreated the entire sequence of like the text moving and stuff, and then how the text appears on screen for the main title. I recreated it all, and I learned so much by recreating that one scene. And that's the thing. You just need to keep doing things like that. See a scene that you love and recreate it. How is it done? How can I do that? And even though, Netflix has this huge budget for that intro sequence, I did it in like an afternoon with $0. Okay. Another thing I did, I think it was last year, was my dad and I love the show Amazing Race, and my family went on a vacation to Las Vegas last year, and I have all this footage from the whole vacation, and I said to myself, I want to make a little video of the entire trip and highlighting the best parts of the trip. And so I said to myself, like, this intro sequence for Amazing Race is an amazing little, like, compilation of, like, the best moments of the show that you're going to see. And I was like, why can't I create that? So that's what I did. I recreated the intro sequence from Amazing Race to do the highlight film for the vacation that we just went on. And then I recreated how they show planes, taking off and landing in different cities and stuff like that. I recreated that for the highlight film of the vacation. And that's how I learned. Just find some things that you love, recreate them, and it might take you a little bit to do them. And that, I think the Amazing Race intro took me like probably like 2-3 days to recreate, but I learned a ton by doing it. So it's well worth doing. I recreate things and titles all the time just to learn how it's done, how to improve my skills, and really that's the best thing for me is just by trying and trying and trying. I know another great resource is by watching YouTube shows like VLAMP. Wow, shameless plug, Matt. Yeah, so I watch shows like VLAMP all the time. I don't watch VLAMP episodes actually. I don't watch my own show, but there's another program called Cinecom.net on YouTube here that does some really great content. Basic Filmmaker on YouTube. I used to watch Film Ride. I don't watch it anymore just because it's more about how to make short films and stuff like that, and I don't really enter into that part of the industry anymore. I used to learn a ton from their older episodes, but now they're getting into more of like, here's how you make a short film, and I'm not that videographer. I think that type of videography is very crowdfunded nowadays, and I don't want to enter into it. I help my friends with projects all the time, but I'm more the videographer where I'm filming live events and creating my own content and not necessarily scripted things anymore. We do commercials and stuff, but that's the farthest we go into scripted content. So I don't really watch Film Ride anymore. Basic Filmmaker, Cinecom, and Griffin Hammond, a podcast I listen to all the time, and you'll learn a ton by just listening and watching those kind of creators. So our next question comes from our Facebook page from AJM. Thank you for the second question of the week. Man, you're awesome. What's the biggest / proudest achievement you have made in the filmmaking world? Oh, that's tough. Okay, so I want to preface this by saying a lot of people keep commenting, keep saying that you need these huge, huge cameras to do anything professional. No, you don't. That's bogus, okay? If you're filming the next Star Wars, or if you're filming the next James Bond movie, you probably want to get a Red camera or Ari camera or an Alexa camera. You probably want to figure that into your multi-million-dollar budget. But I'll be honest. We have filmed so much over the years with the cameras that we have in our inventory. We have like Canon T5Is. We have GoPro cameras of every generation. We have Sony cameras. We have old Kodak cameras. A whole bunch. 10 cameras in all. And here's the thing. The proudest achievement I've ever had would probably be getting onto BBC Network. That was kind of cool of a moment to figure out, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on this network. So like, it's a difficult question, or it's a difficult question to answer, because we got onto like HBO and Showtime at the same time. We got into both of those networks at the same time, and that was through a stupid video we did. This is live, people. Can't take it back. It wasn't the best video that we've ever done, but we did this video a while back, and it sounded like one of those like stupid projects, but it was actually kind of cool. It was actually really fun to do. So I shouldn't say it was stupid. Sorry. But that ended us up going on to HBO and Showtime, and that was kind of really, really cool. That was a proud moment for me. But then, but HBO and Showtime are more like only America kind of networks. They're only national networks. I know their stuff gets syndicated outside of. I think it gets syndicated outside. Forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but I think they go internationally. But I know BBC does. And so the moment I found out that what we filmed was going to be on BBC, it was probably the proudest moment for me, because here's a situation where basically I'm filming with not Red or not Ari, not Alexa cameras. I'm filming with T5Is and GoPros, and somehow it's good enough footage to go on to BBC. And that's a really proud moment for me. We filmed this project like 2 years ago, and then someone approaches us and says, we'd like to use your footage for BBC. And I'm like, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. And so now, British people can see all of our footage on their network, and that goes international. And we just found out like maybe a month or two ago that they're submitting it to Netflix. And so, here's a situation where this small little project we did might end up getting on Netflix. And man, that'd be awesome, just because it'd be awesome to be on Netflix. I know a lot of creators in the industry are, dream of being on Netflix one day. And here we are this close to being on Netflix, and I'm only 25 years old. So that was the proudest moment I've had in filmmaking, probably. But it's a toss-up. I really think it's a toss-up because there's a lot of proud moments. I mean, there's always like those events that I do for the first time where I've never done it before, and then I look back at the footage and I'm like, yeah, I'm really proud of that. And I think the BBC thing, when I saw my content on BBC, I was like, yeah, that's kind of really cool. This is like going out to the whole world, and that was really nice to see. So when your content goes out to millions and millions of people, that's a proud moment. Yeah. So that's my answer to that. Next question comes into us from our Facebook page from Eric Revel Dews. I'm going to preface this by saying that I might get upset over this next question. Ever had these dreaded words? My friend has some GoPro footage that we'd like you to include. Okay. Number one. I'm going to really try to not get mad here at you. Because it sounds like you're putting down GoPro. GoPro footage is some of the most used footage in the broadcast TV world. So for those who don't know, Eric is a wedding videographer, and basically it sounds to me like he's hearing all the time from his clients that they'd like him to use footage from relatives that were at the wedding, and they have all this like cell phone video and GoPro video that they'd like him to include in his videos for their wedding video. So there's a couple things that I kind of got to mention here, and I'm really, really sorry, Eric, but I think you're dead wrong. That's just my belief. I'm sorry. And I think there's a lot of people who would agree with you, and I think there's a lot of people that agree with me. This is a debate that we can have. But here's the thing. GoPro isn't bad, okay? GoPros are one of the most common cameras you'll find on the wedding cinematography industry because you can hide them literally anywhere. I know in my work, I've hidden them in trellises over the couple as they're speaking their vows, and it's an amazing angle that you can get of like the couple and then seeing all of their friends and family. It's an amazing angle to have. I've used GoPros hanging from trees, hidden in the bushes off to the side of the wedding. In my other work, I've used GoPros all over the stage during stage concerts and stuff. They are amazing cameras to have. I've put them underneath vehicles, on the outside of vehicles. My gosh, they are amazing cameras to own. I cannot recommend GoPros enough. They just came out with a Hero 6, and I kind of don't want the Hero 6 because it has almost the same specs as the Hero 5. But they're amazing cameras, and I don't want anyone to think for a second from this comment that GoPros aren't that great. GoPros are very good cameras, and in a lot of ways they are better than most other cameras you can buy right now, just because of their size. We have GoPros around, I just don't know where they are at the moment to show you how small they are compared to other cameras. But here's another point I want to make on your comment. When you say ever had these dreaded words, my friend has some GoPro footage. You can take the word GoPro out of there, and you can say, my friend has some footage that we'd like you to include, right? It doesn't matter what camera you're talking about. It really doesn't. Because this concept is the same regardless. You're working for a client. And in wedding video business, you're working for a couple who wants to remember the best day of their life. Unless they get married twice. But then it's the second best day of their life. Sorry. But here's the thing. You're working for a client, and so your job isn't to make your work stand out. I'm sorry. Your job is to make an amazing video, right? Your job is to capture their day in amazing quality, but at the end of the day, it's not your film. It's not your project. A lot of like videographers I've worked with, what we do weddings for like couples and stuff like that all the time, where they hire more than one videographer. They hire more than one photographer, which is kind of weird to say, but they do it, and they have the budget to do it. And so we'll walk into a place, and we have very minimal equipment, and all of our cases get hidden before the show starts, before the program starts, I should say. And we try to, define ourselves very minimally on set anytime we're out, anytime we're on a wedding shoot. If we're doing a full video shoot, then yeah, we're going to have all of our cases out there just because it's easier for us. But for weddings, we hide all of our cases. And we've seen other videographers all the time that make a huge footprint out on the floor. They use these huge cameras, use these huge tripods, have all their cases scattered all over the place. It's pretty bad. But your job isn't to be the center of attention, right? And here's the thing with this comment. You say it like that all you want to use is footage from your own cameras. And that's great if that's all you had. But here's the thing. I've been commenting with Eric, and it sounds to me like he only has one camera, which is cool. But first off, you need more than one camera to cover any wedding, because what happens if an SD card fails on you? Suddenly you don't have the first kiss on film, right? What if suddenly they kiss and you're in the wrong spot, right? You missed the main moment of the event, okay? You need more than one camera. But, and that's just a big side note. Second is, you probably are going to end up buying a couple of GoPros for weddings, because that's the very industry standard in wedding video business. So don't put down GoPros when you're going to end up using them one day. And thirdly, we have 10 cameras, right? But even we can't cover every single moment of every wedding. Like, here's the thing. We're going to grab the main moments of the event, but, if a family member says to another family member something at one of the tables around the event, I'm sorry, we have 10 cameras going around, which, sometimes means we have 10 camera guys going around, but we're not going to capture every single word of every single, sentence of every family member, okay? So if they capture something unique in a unique angle somewhere, if they capture something, that no one else captured that day, even if it's not framed right, or even if it's not the best camera angle in the world, even if it was shaky footage, maybe they caught audio of the bride saying something to her bridesmaid before the event started. Maybe they caught some really good audio that we can fix up later in post of, even if it's not the best audio in the world, it's still maybe the husband-to-be said something to his best man of like, oh, I'm really nervous, and like I don't know what to do, and his best man gave him a really good speech before the event began. Maybe the father-in-law came over to the husband-to-be and, had a good talk with the husband-to-be and said, I wish you all the best luck. I don't care what camera that was caught on, right? There's a reason why at these kind of events, we kind of ask around for people to send us all their footage. And here's where you and me, Eric, differ, right? To me, it doesn't matter if it was caught on one of my cameras or not. To me, it matters that it was captured. And if I end up using some GoPro footage from a friend or a family member, or if I use some cell phone video someone captured on their cell phone that day, it doesn't matter to me at all. It matters to me that it was captured in general. And I'm going to include that no matter what, And here's the thing. Like, I include cell phone video and, okay, fine. Maybe if they shoot with their cell phone like this, I'm not going to include it because it looks horrible. I might do some editing effects on it and put a couple clips next to it. That way it looks like, oh, there's a couple vertical videos. But if they shot like this, I'm more likely to use it. So here's the thing. It matters to me that it was captured in general. And so I include footage from everything all the time. And from this comment, it sounds like you're getting asked by the couple to include footage from a friend or a family member. And in those situations, there's only one answer that you should be able to give. I know some people out there are going to say, well, Matt, hey, the customer isn't always right. But in these situations, yes, they are, okay? If they're paying for the video to be made and they want footage from one of their friends or family members, guess what? You should probably include that, okay? So I see we have a question coming into from the live chat, so I'm going to get to that in just a second. But here, it's not dreaded words for me, okay? If they want to include it, I'm going to include it, okay? And if it's horrible footage, like first off, look through the footage and see if it's any good. If it's not any good, guess what? The client is asking you to include it. They know how bad it is compared to your video footage, but if they're asking for it, include it and say, here's the version with it, here's the version without it. If someone captured like the speech the best man gave to the husband-to-be right before the wedding started, and someone captured that audio, and maybe they don't have the best video, then include the audio over a couple of video clips, There's a bunch of different ways you can do it that don't necessarily mean that it doesn't mean your footage is bad. It just means that, hey, someone else captured something that you didn't. Sorry, Charlie. It happens all the time, okay? Use it and be happy, okay? Don't just think that your footage is bad just because other people look at you and say, oh, someone shot it on their cell phone and you're shooting with whatever kind of camera. Hey, okay, fine. You shot it on a GoPro. Fine, you shot it on an iPhone. I don't care. It's still footage, and I'm still going to include it. It matters most that someone caught it, not so much of what camera it was caught on. A question just came in from our live chat from Phonash. There's no graphic for this because I'm sorry, came in live from the live chat. And it reminds me to say that if you're watching right now and you want your question read on the show, please do leave it in the live chat on the bottom of your screen or the right of your screen, depending on what device you're listening to this on this program to. So leave your question in the live chat, and we're going to answer those questions live on the show. So Phonash says, Matt, hi. I just bought a Canon C100 Mark II. Have you used this camera? Looking for any tips? Thanks, brother. I have. Not often, but I have. We have rented cameras so many times for events, and there's a reason why, over the years we went from having 2 cameras to 3 cameras to 4 cameras to now having 10, because I kept on renting camera equipment and found out, like, I'm going to rent a camera 5 times over the next year, so why don't I just buy the camera, and that way at least I have it, and I'm not spending all this money and not having a camera. So I've used that camera, but a friend of mine actually just used it for an event of his, and he was telling me some tips on it. So kind of weird that you commented that. He actually used a C200, which is another great camera. I love that camera just because you can put like a servo controller on it, so you can like control the zoom with a servo instead of having to like go with your zoom lens on a DSLR. I would love to have that function, and I would definitely utilize the heck out of that function because, hey, it's a great function to have on a camera. But any tips I can give on it? That's difficult. Here's the thing. There's not much different besides the servo thing. I mean, I know if people are going to be like, oh, Matt, there's these settings that are different. Fine, okay? There's settings that are different. But T5Is are basically the same. Sorry. So tips on it would just be to, if you just got it, which it sounds like you did. Sorry, bring it back to my other screen over. My setup is I have a screen right here in front of me, and then I have another screen like way over there just to show me the stream and make sure it's okay. You just bought it. So what I would do is if I just bought a camera, I would take it out and play with it as much as you can. Take it out on your family trips. Take it out on a drive somewhere. Take it out to anywhere and everywhere you can go right off the bat. Film a couple things. Don't say to customers, I made this mistake before. When I bought the GoPro Hero 4, when I bought the Hero 4, I said, hey, customers, like, hey, I just got this new camera that we're going to be using, and then I used it like 2 days after I received it, and I used it on a customer's project, and I was like, didn't really know the settings, and so it like all of a sudden had a bunch of problems with the footage, and my customer was like, so how's the new camera working out? And I'm like, oh, horrible. I didn't know what settings to use on it, and I really messed up. So here's the thing. Here's the lucky part where back then we had like 7 cameras. So, I had other footage from the day to use, but again, that's another reason why, what's your name? Eric Revels Dues. It's another reason why you should have more than one camera. But don't use it on a client project right away. Please use it on a couple projects, and use it for stuff that you're doing personally, and figure it out before you get started really with using it on customer projects. You don't want to take a brand new camera and just right away throw it into customer projects because you will not know the settings of it right away. I've rented a Canon C100 Mark II before. I've used it for photography. I've used it for video. It's a great camera. Unfortunately, I've only rented it, and so I had it for like a weekend. And so you literally have the situation where Friday I'm practicing with it basically a little bit, figuring out the settings a little bit. Saturday I'm shooting with it, and Sunday I have to ship it back out. So I didn't have that much time to really give you too many tips on how to use that specific camera. I do know the Canon line quite a bit, and so I can give you tips on Canons in general, but not necessarily that camera. I would say any camera, though, go out and shoot the heck with it. You'll thank yourself in the end. But that's a really good camera. I think you'll really do well with it. It depends on what you're doing. So if you would comment and tell me what kind of work you do. I'd be interested to know what you're using that camera for, and maybe I can help you further with that. But leave that in the live chat as we go along. Again, if you have any questions for the show while we're live here, you can ask them live during the program, and I will answer them live. I believe if you submit a live chat thing, it enters a comment on the rebroadcast, but I'm not 100% on that. So if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, leave a comment, and we will answer those questions during the following live stream in November, or whatever month, the following month's live stream from whenever you left the comment. Next question comes into us from our Facebook from Brandon Rice. I believe that's the next question. Make sure. Yep, it's the next question. Brandon Rice says, where do you hire your voiceover people? Two places, actually. So there's two really good resources for voiceover people. The first of which is we have our own. And this might sound stupid at first, but we have made friends in the industry. We know what they charge. I also have an entire part of our website. And for those who don't have never seen our website, we have our website, matthaslamproductions.com. Go there, check it out. But shameless plug. But on that website, you can see a bunch of different things of what we do. But there are literally hundreds of pages of that website that are hidden from the public view because we have a customer portal on there, and we also have basically applications where people can submit applications to work for us. And part of that is voiceovers. So you can submit an application to be an actor, an actress of any age. You can submit an application to be a staff member, a videographer, a photographer for us, an audio and lighting engineer, whatever you happen to be. Submit an application, but also voiceover people we're looking for. So we have this database of voiceover artists who are from around the country, around the world, who do wonderful work. And we have all of their prices in that database that we can look up at any time to say, if a customer needs a voiceover, we can look in that database and say, well, who do we have that sounds right for that role? And if no one really fits the bill, or if the budget is really, really small, then we're going to go to the second resource that we use all the time, which is actually one everyone can use, which is called Fiverr.com. I believe it's Fiverr.com. You can go to, and basically it's a whole bunch of different people who offer a whole bunch of different services, one of which is voiceover work, where you can have them read a script for like $5, right? And if it's a script, it's individualized, so certain artists might say, if it's over 100 words, it's now 2 jobs, and it's now $10 basically. Other artists might say, well, if you want it an MP3 file, it's $5. But if you want a WAV file, which is a better resolution file, a better, not resolution, better quality audio file, then it's $10. But fine, it's still $10. I think the most expensive thing I saw in there was like $20, which isn't that bad. So if you're looking for a voiceover, definitely go there, and you can hear like samples of their work, and it's amazing people on there for a very low price. So if you're looking for voiceover people, then definitely go there and check it out. And if you're not really happy with any of the choices, then you might be able to, reach out to some people, see if they know anyone. Personally, there's no one that I really can recommend because this is an online show, I don't know where in the world you're from to say, here's a great person that lives right down the road from me, but maybe they don't live right down the road from you. So it does make a difference, believe me. So to find someone local, maybe you want to ask around to local people. But that's what I would say. Just go to Fiverr and check it out, or try to reach out to some local people, see if they know anyone. Reach out to the local radio stations, because radio people and DJ artists do voiceover work all the time, and they are really, really amazing at it. So I know a friend of mine works at a radio station, and if I need a voiceover from a guy's perspective, I'm gonna be looking at him if he fits the right role. Just because, like, your question kind of says, where do you hire your voiceover people from? Well, the thing is, I don't just hire one voiceover artist all the time. I'm looking for a slew of people in a database that I can look through and say, this is the person that's right for this bill, right? If a customer says to me, I want a woman's voice for this, well, it depends on what the script says. I can't just pick any woman off the list. I have to listen to their voiceover audition. I have to listen to their work and say, I have literally in my database 20-year-olds that sound more like 50-year-olds once they get behind a microphone. It's weird, but on certain projects, that's the right sound that they're looking for. They want this older woman voice compared to a younger woman voice. And I'm listening for those tones and those things in people's voice, and I say, okay, this is right for that specific job and this specific script. And so I'm looking at a script and going, okay, this is right for this job. And sometimes it doesn't match the budget. Sometimes it's over budget. Sometimes it's under budget. It's just a matter of what's right for every single job. I'd rather give the customer a perfect voiceover from a perfect artist for that role and be a little bit over budget than give them something that they're not going to be happy with, or something that they're unhappy with, but they have no idea why they're unhappy with it, but it turns out it's a voiceover. So it's just the wrong role. So that's how I'm hiring people. And our next question comes in from Brandon again. Hello, Brandon. Thanks for submitting questions. How often do you question your own work? I do so often. Well, Brandon, unfortunately, you're in the entertainment industry because everyone does that. I try not to. I really, really try not to, but I always do. Like a couple weeks ago, I just went through my YouTube uploads on my main channel, and I was like looking through old things and going, okay, yeah, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. And especially for like when you're doing events every year, you kind of do this, you kind of reminisce a little bit, and you're like in a week or so, we're going to be filming another Halloween parade for the upcoming season. And so I looked at last year's Halloween parades, and I'm like, how can I improve this for this year? How can I do this better this year? And you figure out what you did wrong last time and you improve on it. I don't think I ever question my own work. I just figure out what I did wrong and figure out how I can do it to improve it. That's all you can do. You can't like go back and be like, I wish I did this differently. You can say to yourself, uh, this can be improved next time. So it's a matter of how you word it to yourself, but I always word it like, I can do that better next time. I can do it this way. I learned this from last time, so I'm going to do it this way this time. But I don't really look over old work. Like, when I'm doing an event, again, I'm going back to last year's event and going, okay, how can I do this better? But for the most part, for a majority of the work we do, I'm not looking at old commercials I made for customers. I'm looking at, the last commercial I made for a customer. I'm not looking over like year-old commercials I made. I'm not looking over stuff like that because I don't want to reminisce on that kind of stuff. Once I put it out there, it's out there. And in my opinion, I mean, demo and show reels, like once I put a demo or show reel out there, I privatize the old one just so if people are looking at my work, they're looking at my most current demo reel and they're not finding my old demo reels. But I question my work all the time, but I try not to as much as I possibly can. And I try not to I try to word it very carefully to myself just so that I'm saying to myself, hey, I can improve on that. I'm watching old films going, okay, I can do that differently this time. And I'm literally sometimes writing down on a notepad of like, here's what I can do next time. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, well, I can improve that. So I literally go through and re-edit things, and I'm like, this is how I can improve it. I don't ever put the re-edits out there, but it's just a matter of, yeah, I can do it differently. Yeah, I could have done that this different way, and it would have been better for the project. So I do that all the time. Just be careful how you word it to yourself, because if you word it badly and you word it like, oh, I was horrible back then you're gonna bring your confidence level down in your work. So when you put out new work, you're gonna be less confident in putting it out there. So I always put it out, and I'm always saying to myself, yeah, whenever I find something bad about a film that I can improve on, I'm always trying to find one or two things in the same minute or two of footage that I can say good about the film. I can say like, oh yeah, I could have done that graphic better, but it's framed up really nice and the audio sounds great. I'm finding one or two things in the same section of video where I can compliment the work I did, and that way I'm still boosting my confidence level. So yeah. Excuse me. I had to do that for like 5 minutes now, so had to cough for a while. But if there are no other questions coming in from our live stream here, no one has questions for us this month, which is weird. I'm really happy that Phone Ash gave us a question because I had nothing else ready. No, actually I did. But that was our last question of the night, people. So thank you all for joining us. Wow, don't do that, microphone. Yeah, very last minute of the live stream, everything just goes to hell. So if you have a question for the show, please do leave it in the comment section below of any of our videos. We will answer it on the following live stream. Probably should put this up there so you can actually see it. If you would like to see new episodes coming out from us, we have brand new videos coming out every single day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. New episodes, main episodes coming out Mondays at 8 p.m. Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our monthly live streams and live Q&A sessions where we answer all of your questions that you submit to us live. We're going to answer them live once a month, first Monday each month at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will be back the first Monday of November answering your questions live. So if you submit to us a question over the next month, please understand we're not going to answer them. Well, we're going to answer them probably in a comment, but we're going to definitely answer those questions during the next live stream coming in November 2017. And also check out our new episodes coming out every Monday, because this is season 5 of the show, people. We're getting so close to the end here. Well, we're like 3 months away from that. But the show is scheduled until the end of December already. We have episodes made, going out there, uploaded, ready to go, and scheduled on YouTube until the end of December. We just got done. This is exciting. We just got done filming the episode, which will be episode 1 of season 6 of the show. Filming the building of that thing over there that you guys can't see on camera. But it is our taco cart. We just got done building a utility taco cart for our film stuff. And so we have an episode coming out on that. The first episode in January 2018. Also, we just gained 100 subscribers on the show. So thank you so much again for that. The second episode of season 6, by the way, will be the episode behind the scenes of Amazing Race season 30. So that's exciting. But thank you guys so much for giving us 100 subscribers. I look forward to seeing 200 subscribers very, very soon. So please, if you would, hit up that like button below. Smash that like button, because I would love you if you did. Leave a comment. Ask your questions away. I'm happy to answer them. Also, share this video as well as all of our videos and this channel with all of your friends and family that might love it. Even if they're not going to love it, just share it with them anyway, because we would love to get to 200 subscribers really fast here. But thank you so much for joining us. Also, remember that you can join me and my good friend Chris Krasnowski, along with other crew members of the Earthlink Origins film, on October 12th, 2017 at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to October 12th. We're going to have a live stream on his channel, which is linked right. I'm getting better at it, but I'm still really bad at it. Right there. Right there. Go to that YouTube channel and hit subscribe, because on October 12th, 2017, I'm going to be joining Chris on his live stream. And go to that website right there. Check out more about the film Earthlink Origins. And it's an amazing film that I'm the audio designer, engineer guy on. It's an amazing film. It's all a CGI film, by the way. So if you see the monthly live stream, you're going to see behind the scenes and stuff of how it's made. You're going to be hearing from the people who make the film, including myself and Chris and all of his teams, like Michael Wiley. I don't know any of other names off the top of my head. Tim Torre, who's an amazing actor. We're trying to get him on the live stream for next month. But you're going to be hearing from the cast and crew during that live stream, so definitely check it out on October 12th. And stay tuned for that episode right there. Yeah. Because we get to show the behind the scenes of how Amazing Race is actually made, coming to the channel very, very soon. Once again, I'm your host, Matt Haslam, and this has been, I can't get the button, this has been VLAMP How To Show, Season 5, Episode 118. I can't believe we're already at 118. That's amazing, dude. I'm so happy about that. But this has been a broadcast of VLAMP. I'm so happy another live stream went so well. Thank you guys for joining us today. And thank you for hitting that like button, commenting your questions below all month long. Thank you for giving us content to make these episodes every single month. And thank you for joining us for this live stream. Have a good one, people, and see us next time, the first Monday of November, for the third ever live stream, monthly live stream of the show. Also, I should note that during October, I'll get the actual schedule here. Hold on. Live stream's not over yet. I'll get the actual calendar because, yeah, it's important to actually know these things. Yeah, so this month we're producing three different Halloween parades that you guys can check out. over the month. And it's on my other calendar. Of course it's on my other calendar. Hold on, people. I'm just going to keep talking while I find it. So 100 subscribers, dude. That's amazing. I love having 100 subscribers because you know what that means? It means that 100 of you people have hit that button, the big red button below all of our videos. And I love that, love that you did it. Yeah, so, oh, that's where I can find it. Yeah, Matt, hey, check out that. So I forgot my own website there for a second. Basically, if you want to check out our Halloween parade coverage coming this month, then you can certainly check out our blog over at madhouseandproductions.com/blog and see our schedule for Halloween parades, as well as other stuff that we put out there all the time. Blog posts coming to you guys all the time, on top of the live streams and the episodes and the daily content stuff. But we're going to be covering the Pine Grove, Pennsylvania parade on October 21st, 2017 here. That will be broadcasted, I think, on the 22nd. We'll be putting that on our Matt Husson Productions YouTube channel. We're covering the St. Clair, PA Halloween parade on October 25th. So that will be actually broadcasting on the Matt Husson YouTube channel, Matt Husson Productions YouTube channel, on October 26th. So basically, you're going to see all these Halloween parades the day after they happen. And then we're covering the, if I can find it here, Hamburg, Pennsylvania Halloween parade, which is the Jack Frost parade, on October 28th, and that will be broadcasting on October 30th, because we're actually covering another Halloween parade on the 29th for another company. So basically, if you want to check out the Halloween parades this year and see the intro sequence of Stranger Things style intro sequence for those, you can check those parades out. Pine Grove on the October 22nd, St. Clair on October 26th, and Hamburg on October 30th, coming to the Matt Husson Productions YouTube channel. If you want to see that channel, I will probably leave a link in the description below. If it's not there, I don't think it's actually there. No. But if you go to madhouseandproductions.com, at the very top of the page, there's a little button for YouTube, and you can check that out. It's youtube.com/user/Matt Haslam RSS. So go over there and subscribe to that channel to see all of that great content coming to you guys during the month of October. We also have other stuff coming out in October that I know you guys are going to love, so go over there and check it out. But once again, thank you for joining us. See us back here every single day at 10:30 a.m. for brand new videos. New episodes air Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and monthly live streams and Q&A sessions air every first Monday of every month at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming to you live from the MHP studios in Minersville, PA. Thank you all for joining us today for the live stream, the second ever monthly live stream on this channel, and see us back here next time. Bye for now.